incredible. Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great Monday, because it is Monday today. It's not Sunday. Usually we stream on a Sunday, but today it's Monday. The reason why I didn't stream yesterday, for those of you who didn't know before we get into chat, is because it was my wedding anniversary. So I was with my wife, spending time with her, and I didn't think it was probably best to stream on my wedding anniversary. So yeah, that's why we're streaming today instead of yesterday. I'm just going to brighten up this face cam a little bit. I think, there we go. There you go. You can actually see me now. There we go. Yeah, so I wasn't around yesterday. I was, we went to a vintage fair and bought a lot of cool stuff. I actually bought some pretty cool props like this, an old vintage stamp, because I love old mechanical things. And this is just really cool. Anyway, yeah. So I went to a vintage fair. I bought my wife some bits and pieces for the house. I bought some bits and pieces for here, and we had a really good day. Looking at chat, Cordos is here first. He says, "Damn, a J." Yes, me. Hey to you. JQ27 pets his ISO key. Thank you very much for that, man. Hope everything is going good. It's going very well, Cordos. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Avo says, hard choice. Yeah, for the build stream today, it will be a hard choice because we've got two options today. Either an F18X or alternatively a Sagittarius. I don't know which one you guys are going to pick. That's entirely up to you guys. We will see what you guys want to pick, but I don't mind either way. I'm happy to build both, so we'll see. Anaki's here as well. He says, hi Jay, hope you had a good day yesterday. Yeah, we did. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you so much. One King Alara says, love Jay. Hey man, thanks. Glad to see you here. Zombie as well. Hey man, good to see you. Well, I know how I'm going to spend my lunch breaks at Static Age. Well, thank you, dude. Thank you for being on the stream. Arcana, hey man, good to see you. Winky as well. Void Media is here too. Cleverlook says, woo, yay, tungstens are back in stock. I will touch on that in a second, but yes, you're right, they are back in stock. Metatron says, even Hing, hey man, good to see you. Snicket, good dude, good to see you, man, good to see you. I hope you're coming to the London Meetup, Snicket, because I have something for you that I need to take. So yeah. How many years? 4 years now. We got married in 2018, so this is our 4th wedding anniversary. So it feels like longer than it should do, to be honest with you, but you know, we're happy, so we're good. Ben says happy anniversary. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's more for my wife than me. Like, I'm not one for celebrating birthdays or anniversaries or dates or anything at all, but she likes to. So yeah. Happy anniversary, Jane, Miss J. She's called Ellie, is my wife. My wife's called Ellie. So there you go. Didn't get the plate though. Which plate, Clever Looks? I don't know what you mean there. Not sure I follow there. Sticky finger in there. In where? In this. There doesn't need to be a plate in it. It has like a reel of numbers. Come on, focus. Focus, camera, please. There you go. You twist it around and there's like numbers on the dial. So, yeah, it's just pretty cool. How was the anniversary? It was really good. We went to a vintage fair, Kish, bought a load of stuff. I actually bought some really cool vintage scissors. So I met someone that I think I know from a long time ago, and he apparently now just sells vintage things, which I have a real hankering for vintage tools. If you can find me a set of vintage screwdrivers, like I love that kind of stuff. Vintage tools, and he found me some actual old haberdashery style scissors that he had just in his collection. And I bought like 3 pairs. I bought an old vintage camera. I bought the stamp. I bought some other bits and pieces. I love anything that's old and mechanical and tactile and feels good and has great workmanship behind it. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a really good day. And my wife enjoyed it as well, which is always good. Leaning Sagittarius. I've seen a lot of F1s. Yeah, I've seen a lot of F1s. I will show both boards, Arcana. Yeah. Coinan says I'd go for the Sagittarius. You can pick in a few minutes. We'll do a poll and you can pick. London Meetup. Yeah, there's a Meetup in London. It's going to be in September. I'm not really involved with the running of it. I'm just going to be there as a vendor, selling stuff. But yeah, and Mel will be there as well. So that should be good. Fun. I apologise, guys. My nose is running like mad because my hay fever is really bad today. So I apologise if I sniffle or snuffle. So I apologise for that. So yeah, tickets should be on sale soon. I think they're going to be sold through Mech Boards here in the UK. Another great vendor you should check out. Yeah, I'll be there in vendor capacity. We'll have a little stall for prototypists and show some of our latest prototypes off and some of the upcoming stuff from Wook and other vendors that we tie up with. So yeah, it'll be exciting times. If you're in London, you will be able to come along, not a problem. Tickets should be on sale soon. I'm not quite sure when. Yes, Ben, it is a vintage camera. I bought it mainly for the looks. I don't know what it is. I don't really know much about vintage cameras. I bought it because I thought it would look good in the background of some pictures, like a set piece. I bought an old film camera a few weeks ago, Olympus OM2, nice. Mechanisk is releasing a 65%. My dreams have been answered. Nice. What was the vendor selling tickets again? It's Mech Boards in the UK, mechboards.co.uk. So yeah, Vintage Kish, if you and your wife are there, man, it'd be good to see you again. Be good to catch up. Thorium, if you can make it, great. If you can't, there'll always be more. There'll always be more. Now we're getting back to normality with COVID and everything. I think there's going to be more, like 2 or 3 meetups a year, so it should be good fun. But yeah, like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Like, I'm really looking forward to Meetup, mainly because there's going to be so many people I haven't seen for a while there, like James from Alchemist Keyboards, the Mech Boards guys who I get on really well with. There's Tom, who is a good friend of mine. Obviously Mel will be going with me and we'll be sharing stuff. We've already booked our hotel. Like, we've got a hotel like 5 minutes walk away from the venue. My room even comes with like a bathtub outside on a balcony. It's so bizarre. Right, this is so weird. Let me see if I can share a picture of this because it's just so weird. Oh my god, what's the name of the company now? Oh yeah, that's it. Let me see if I can find a picture of the room. Okay, I'm trying to find it. There it is. Right, okay, let me see if I can find a picture of this. But the room I've booked for me, my wife's coming with me, so the room I've booked for us, it actually has a bathtub outside on the balcony, which is really weird. Let me see if I can find the room. I can't find it. I will find it. It won't take me long. Let me have a quick look. Come on. There it is. There it is. Hold on. Let me grab the picture. Let me see if I can quickly share my screen. Hold on. Hold on. Right, there we go. Right, if I share that now, and then I expand this across... Oh no, it's zoomed in really weirdly. Let me see if I can do it this way. Nope, that's not working. Okay, let's turn it off and try again. I've got a better way of doing it. Right. Okay, maybe I don't have a better way of doing it. Okay, I'm messing this up, but... Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? Anyway, okay, I can't find it, but, like, I swear it is there. Hold on, let me post it in Discord. I'll just post it. I'll just snip it and post it in Discord. Like, just Streamlabs does not want to play nicely with me today. But this is what my hotel room has. I'm just going to put it in general chat on the Discord, so if you guys want to have a look, you can do. There you go. Right, I posted the picture in Discord. Sorry it took me so long to do that, guys. But, like... Oh, wait, that's not even the right picture. I posted the wrong bloody picture. Hold on. There we go. That's the right picture. Right, I found it. There we go. Bathtub outside on the balcony. How weird is that? Right, anyway, there we go. Long term, I haven't watched the Keep stream in a long time. Zombie, thank you so much for being here, man. It means the world to me. Coffee looks lovely, making me want to make another cup. Thank you, dude. I just made this in the workshop a few minutes ago. Thank you. Mountains will be moved so I can be there. Gotta see all the lovely people. Thanks, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see you again, dude. Lex as well. Hey, man, good to see you, dude. Keycaps have TX stabs in stock. Just check. Prototypist doesn't also have them step on toes. Yeah, we don't have any at the moment. I think we've got 20,000 sets coming, I think. My Alluvia caps arrived and stay. I have them on my JL1. Thanks for the Milmax PCB, by the way. Working a treat. Hey, I know who you are now. I know who you are. We'll be uploading a video to YouTube soon. That's awesome, dude. The Alluvia keycaps that we sold here at Prototypist are still stuck on a boat. They should arrive in about 9 or 10 days' time here to the workshop. Hopefully. So we'll get them out the same day. Isn't that a hot tub? No, it's an actual bathtub. It's an actual bathtub, not a hot tub. A hot tub stream. We could do a bathtub stream, maybe. Is it trying to do the Japanese onsen vibe in London? I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. It's just a bit weird, but, like, there we go. Olympus says, hi Jay, how's it going? Just got some EMT linears. Excited to see a fully POM linear. Nice. I do want to talk about switches in a second when we get to the news as well. What does PT mean? PT stands for Prototypist. It's the name of the stream. You can see it just down here. Prototypist.net. PT, Prototypist. It's also the name of my store, Prototypist Keyboards. So there you go. Sorry, Malay, I'm sure you put a vintage plate on Insta, or maybe I'm mixing it up with someone else. Maybe I did. Maybe. Yeah, I'll have banana splits back in stock soon. I'm just waiting on the Key.company company to ship them to me. So as soon as they arrive, they'll be back in stock. Yeah. Am I going to have a bath in the bath? I probably will have a bath in the bath. I'll put a picture on Instagram, like, safe. Obviously, I'm not going to go in that bath without, like, swim shorts on, but I probably will take some swim shorts just to use it. I'm not sure I'll do a keyboard stream in it. My wife will be there. She might take some pictures of me for you guys to laugh at. That'd be quite fun, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. But I probably will have a bath in the bath. There we go. But yeah, David Clappin Cheeks that's a great username. Wow. One Drunk Man. Hey man, good to see you, dude. How are you doing, dude? How are you doing? Super happy to see you here. Assert dominance to the sun and the skyline. No shorts. Just stand up there. T-pose. Just T-pose. Nearly knocked something over. Just T-pose up there. Bathtub J is best J. My wife would disagree. Yeah, we're 3D printing something. We actually have 3 cameras. We have camera 1 up here, camera 2 here, and camera 3 is in one of our 2 3D printers that's loading. We're actually printing up some switch openers. Looks like one corner of one's lifted slightly there, but it should be okay. The 3D printers run 24/7 here. We actually have 2 that are built and a 3rd one to be built. One of the 2 that's built needs repairing, so that's why we only have 1 camera on. We'll get to it soon. I'm good, Wondering Man. I'm good. Thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. But yeah, we 3D print a lot. Every time you buy switches from us, as long as we have some printed off, we give away stem holders and switch openers. So yeah. Mighty Setup, hey man, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Okay, so we've talked about the bathtub. We've talked about my hay fever. Time to talk about switches. So the latest news from PT, from Prototypist, is that we changed the way we sell switches. Instead of selling in bags of 70, 90 or 110, we now sell just in packs of 10. So you just buy 10 switches as a bundle. And to make it really, really beneficial for customers as well, we've dropped the prices. Like, the prices used to get cheaper the more switches you bought. So if you bought 70 switches, it was a little bit more expensive per switch than if you bought 110 switches. What we've done is we've taken that 110 switch pricing and then lowered it by about 5%, and then put all the switches back in stock as just counts of 10. So you buy them in 10. So if you want 100 switches, you buy 10 packs. But that does mean that we have some really, really cheap switches out there, and some switches that are like £6-7.50 on other sites for 10, we've got them for like £5. So we've tried to make it as beneficial for customers as possible, and we've changed it all over. Now the good news is that I think people have noticed, because we've sold more switches in the last 3 hours than we have in the past 3 weeks. So like, it must be good for most people, I guess. I don't know, but we're just trying to make it better for customers. So Mel and I had a chat about it, and it's more work for us this way because we have to count out each switch pack as we sell it. Previously, we just used to get like 20,000 switches in. We just weigh them out and into 70s and do, like, 50 bags of 70s, 50 bags of 90s, 50 bags of 110. But now we actually just have large containers that just have all the switches in loose. So we don't have the time up front to bag them all up, but it does take longer to count out 90 because we can't weigh them, because all switches weigh different amounts. So we can't just have a set of scales up there to weigh the switches, because the switches are different per switch, the weights. So what we've actually got is we've got some 3D printed counters that you just put in, and you just kind of swipe the switches over the top, it fills them out. So it does take a little bit longer per bag, about 30 seconds longer per bag, but if it's better for customers, it's better for us. You definitely noticed once the notification came out. Yeah, like, it's one of those things. One thing I would always say is make sure you've got at least 10% more switches than you need. It does mean one of the other changes that we've done is we used to always put a single switch in every bag. So if we sold 70 switches, we'd actually sell a bag of 71. We'd always put an extra switch in. Because we've gone down to 10s, if people do buy in 10s, we can't do that because we just end up giving too many free switches away. Like, it could become as high as 10% in terms of the switches that we give away. So we've had to stop doing that. So definitely make sure you buy a few more than you need, because switches can have small failures. You can solder it wrong, or you could break it while lubing it, or you could break it while opening it, or whatever. 1,001 things could happen. So definitely make sure you buy more switches than you need. Yeah, Dan likes to live dangerously and buy 90 for a TKL, so you have like 3 spare switches. And you never know, in the future, you might find that you kill a switch on a board and you need to replace it. And you want to replace it with one that's lubed exactly the same as how you've got your switches lubed. So, like, if I'm lubing for a TKL, I will generally lube like 100 switches, and then I've got spares for the future. Casual Hearted, there will be 6085 extras. I don't have the key set in yet, it hasn't arrived yet. But yeah, we will have extras. We will always have extras. I guess if you're buying a numpad, buying 70 is kind of too much. Well, kind of, yeah. But like, when we first started, we sold switches in packs of 10 then, and literally every order was for either 70, 90 or 110. Like, every single order was for 70, 90 or 110. And I think the hobby's just changed so much in the past 3 years since PT started that it kind of makes sense to go back to that 10 model. So yeah, there we go. We've done it, we've changed it, we've dropped the prices for everything. So yeah, that's it. I think Durek Pompiano's like £5 for 10 on our site, and elsewhere in the UK they're like 8p a switch more expensive or something, or like £7.50 for 10 and things. So like we have tried to make the pricing as aggressive as possible, purely because we have so many switches, and the aim is to make about a penny per switch profit. Like, it's tiny numbers we're talking. So there we go. There is very few alpacas and EOS. They've if you're looking at them on my site, they've almost already sold out. Like, we put them in stock a couple of hours ago. There's like probably less than 1,000 switches left. It's kind of nuts. So there we go. Normally never an issue, but you do have a drawer full of random ass switches. I have a jar full of them. Just here, look. Plus loads in the drawer as well. This doesn't help my addiction. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're buying them from me, like, you want to be quick on the alpacas because there's very few left. I think, like, tungstens, we've sold 90% of what we put in stock as well. Like, they've just gone. So, yeah. How many switches in that jar, Jay? I don't know. It's the wrong jar. I don't know when oceanography will be fulfilled. You can use the updates command to keep up to date with everything. I haven't heard anything off of Taylor for a while, but you can follow the updates, and as soon as I hear something from him, it will be put on there. If there's nothing on there, it's because I haven't heard. So, yeah, that's literally the latest I have. Okay, now that's for all group buys. It's for all group buys. That jar sounds like a fun meetup game. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know how many switches are in there though, Dan. Like, I'd have to literally count them out. I don't feel like doing that. So yeah, there we go. Right, okay, so it's time to move on to the build stream. We talked about PT and what we're doing with switches. There's more stuff coming in stock this week. Sagittarius extras as well as mystery. Oh, mystery switches are coming back. So if you guys like to take a bit of a random chance on mystery switches, I did keep loads of the 70, 90, and 110 bags back. I think we're going to sell them for 25 quid each, including postage and packaging. Sorry, including VAT. So 20 quid without VAT, 25 quid with VAT, something like that. Rough numbers, and they're going to be in stock. I think we've got 250,000 switches going into mystery switches this time, so you just basically pay the money and you get a random bag. It could be 70, it could be 90, it could be 110, and it could be any switch that we've ever sold. So we have alpacas in there, we have tungstens in there, we have EVO1 switches in there, we have, you know, loads and loads of different things. Like, I think there's over 100 switch types. But I think we've got about 250,000 switches just in the box ready to be sold for Mystery Switch. So look out for that, because that's going live on Friday at 6 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. Mystery Switches go live. So yeah, you won't know what you get until you get it, right? But there's loads. Let me see if I can find a list of what we put in there. This isn't a full list, it's only a partial list. But let me see if I can find it for you, and I'll tell you what it is. Because we did type it up earlier on today. Okay, so for the mystery lucky dip switches, this is what could be in there. This isn't a full list, this is a partial list. Twilight switches, alpaca switches, lilac switches, Anubis switches, Zaku switches, lavender switches, Harimau switches, Penyu switches, EVO1 switches, Pangu switches, Frosty switches, Macaw switches, Mochi switches, Coral switches, Oil King switches, Purple Potato switches, Halo switches, Devoted switches, Corby switches, Gator on X switches, Ink switches, EMT switches, Magic Girl switches, and many, many more. That's just some of the switches we have in there, but there's all sorts of others. Like, I know there's Poseidon switches in there. I know there's Cherry Blossom switches in there. You know, I know there's alpacas in there. I know there's tons of stuff in there that's not in that list. So yeah, definitely watch out. Switches doesn't sound like a real word anymore. No, it doesn't, right? It doesn't. Like, lube, switches, yeah, they lose their meaning. How much would it cost for one of every switch that you have? Dude, like, I would have to charge a lot of money just for the pure time it would take me to go and dig one of every switch I have out. Like 100 quid. It would be something like that, because it would just take me an hour to do them, and like, I really wouldn't want to do it. So you'd have to pay me to motivate me to do it. Like, there we go. And I wouldn't be lubing them. Like, I just wouldn't. Okay, Right, so now we talked about switches, we talked about everything else. I think that's the PT news covered. The only other thing that was in the news section is the 24-hour stream that's coming, where we're going to build every Matrix keyboard that I own. So every board from Matrix Labs that I own, which I think is 25 keyboards now, we're going to build in one long build stream. I have a date in mind for it, and it's not too far away, so I hope you guys are ready for that to happen. We're going to try and turn it into like a mini subathon, so you guys can drop subs if you want to keep me going for a bit longer. We do have a hard limit of 36 hours, but I think at the very least it's going to be 24. So yeah, watch out for that very soon. I'll be announcing it on Discord and on my Instagram once I confirm the date. I just need to make sure that everyone is okay with it in my personal life, because I'm going to be here for 24 hours and uncontactable, and my brother's just about to have his first child, so I need to make sure everything's good before that happens. So yeah, we'll see. Rip the resale of the last one you build. You'll be falling asleep while building the last one. Maybe, but they're all mine, so it's fine. It's fine. Not like you celebrating. Well, on that news, Dan, on that news, I will be culling some of my collection of boards in the very near future. I have 55 boards that are in my personal collection that I will be selling. This won't be sold through Prototypist. It will be sold probably through a Google form on my Discord server or something like that. Mel's going to be kind of administrating it because I just don't have the time with the business and everything to look at it. But I think 55 boards is what we're going to sell. 35 keycap sets and about 1,000 artisans. That's which is about 10% of my overall collection. That's what we're going to sell. Something like that. But yeah, I will be selling some personal boards soon. Nasty, yes, we will have CRP extras. Every single group buy we run has extras. Every single one. You never need to ask, because if we've run it as group buy and we've got a group buy or pre-order historic page on the website, it will have extras. 100% it will have extras. The only thing is you might miss the extras. So watch out on the Discord server. Be subscribed for the email notifications, and then you won't miss them. I'll take things Jay says every 2 to 3 months for £20. Ha! Nice. No, this is happening. Like, we have a list of the boards, so it's now just a case of document them, take the pictures, desolder them if they need desoldering, make sure they're okay, just QC and check them over. It's happening. It's happening. So yeah, gotta be done. Like, I just don't need all of these keyboards anymore. Like, I just don't. So some are gonna have to go. It's as simple as that. Right, okay. Excuse me, hay fever's still bad. Right, let's flip over to the camera, and it's time to show you guys the keyboards that we could be building today. The first one is from Geonworks, and this is an F18X. This is a blue F18X with the 6 brass weights inside. And this could be the first board we build. This is option number 1. That's not a scratch there, it's just a finger mark. So there we go, that's option 1. And that would be built with a carbon fiber plate, I think. Yeah, carbon fiber ISO layout plate, which has actually had the grooves milled for the gaskets to sit into, and then whatever PCB we have in here for it, which I think we have one. Yeah, I think this is a Lin PCB. Yeah, so this is a KLC PCB, which should fit just fine. He says that's what should fit. So there we go. That's build 1. That's the option for number 1. I didn't ever get the screws for it, Nasty, no, but we will be giving that board away. So that's this board right here, and that will be given away on that Matrix 24-hour build stream. So that's option 1. Option 2 is this. This is a Sagittarius. No you, Kish. No you. And this will be built in ANSI layout with the breastplate. Today, there will be a future build of this that will be ISO and with a POM plate. But here we go. This is the a Sagittarius. So that's choice number 2. That is choice number 2. So there we go. Those are the 2 choices. Let me put up a poll and you guys can pick which you would like to see. It would help if I could type today. Okay, poll is now up, guys, so you can vote in the poll and let me know which board you want to see built.
Incredible.
I've dropped my vote in, so you guys vote and show me which you want to see me build. Yakbats, thank you so much for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. Why did Canon Keys have to mar it with that ugly logo on top? Hey, it was up to them. It was up to them. Game Boy Advance? No, this is a analog pocket. So it plays multiple things. It does Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, Neo Geo, all sorts of games. This colour of the Sagittarius will not be on sale this weekend. No, all of the other colours, this one won't. This was the Friends and Family colour. Where's the pool? What pool? Not sure what you mean. If it's 50-50, do you build both? No, I get the deciding vote. Oh, you're referring to the Sagittarius as a Game Boy Advance. I see, gotcha. I do have a Game Boy Advance around here somewhere. Here's my Game Boy Advance. Not quite sure why it's not turning on. Oh, there we go. Look, this is actually a gift for Mel, is this game, because she's never played it. So I hope she's not watching, because this is a surprise for her tomorrow. Like for her anniversary, for working for Prototypist, she gets this Game Boy and the game. So there we go. Because she's never played Pokemon, so original cart and everything. But yeah. It is Pokemon in there. Yeah, it's actually Pokemon in my analog pocket as well. Look, I'm playing. This is what I'm playing right now. Pokemon Leaf Green. So there we go. What will be the keycaps? Chat get to choose the keycaps. I have a selection of 5 or 6 keycap sets. Chat will get to choose after we've done the build. But you don't get to know the keycaps until after we built the keyboard. Fire red? Yeah, it's fire red. This is in an aluminium case as well, so this case is all aluminium. It's not like the original Game Boy cases. It's all aluminium with aluminium buttons as well. All these buttons are aluminium too. So yeah, so it's been fully customized, reshelled. The triggers aren't aluminium; they're still plastic, but all of the other buttons are aluminium. USB-C charging, battery included inside. So yeah. The analog pocket is super cool. Like, if you guys are interested in them, definitely check them out. Like, it's just such a nice thing. Like, it's just such a nice thing to have. Like, look at that. The screen quality is great. It's just super cool. It's just super cool. So yeah, definitely check out the analog pocket if you can. You had too many hours on Yellow. Do you know what? I never played Yellow. That's one of the versions of the game I never played. I think the one I spent the most amount of hours on was probably Crystal. Crystal. The pre-order time is next year, and I think it. Yeah. That's a bougie Game Boy Advance. Yeah, the analog pocket is like a year out now. I think people are selling them on eBay for like £800, like $1,000 a piece. It's really expensive. Demotex, hey man, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. The best generation of Pokemon games. Pokemon games got really, really good on the Game Boy Advance. Like, they were okay on the Game Boy, but they got really good on the Game Boy Advance. That's the best time. Yeah, definitely get that battery replaced. Yeah, some of the music was great. Right, okay, guys, you've got like a minute left to vote if you haven't already voted. It looks like the Sagittarius is winning, but only just only just. Like, it's really close. So if you guys want to vote and change what we're building today, whether you want to see the F18X or whether you want to see the Sagittarius, vote now. Vote now. What do I think about the G on F1 versus the F2? I'm a huge fan of the F1. I have like 6 of them, so it's always going to be the F1 for me. I have the Prog.
Incredible.
Kobe, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. I apologize. My hay fever is really bad at the minute. Do you know, I never played Black and White. That was one of the few Pokemon games I didn't ever play. But yeah, I think going back to Keeps and Codes question, I think for me it would have to be. I think it'd have to be the F1. Like, I just really like the F1. It's such a really nice board. Just so thank you very much for the follow as well, man. I appreciate that. So today we are building the Sagittarius. So unbox this properly. Okay. And you have to remember, guys, the Sagittarius extras, these boards extras, these will be in stock on Friday, 6 PM.
Incredible.
Core cables, thank you very much for the follow, man. There's the breastplate. We'll unwrap that in a few minutes. Here's the PCB. And then, of course, we've also got gaskets. We've got feet. And we've got a JST cable as well. All of the nice things that we need. Let's get the board out as well. Excuse me, my hay fever is so bad today. So this is the board. It's kind of like an ergo style layout. This is the Sagittarius constellation. So these have like little LEDs behind them, which you'll see when we build it up. Breast weight in the back. You can see there it's got Sagittarius the Archer on it. E-white base on this one, and kind of like a blurple coloured top. Let's install the feet before we do anything else. It really does remind you of the Game Boy Advance. It's kind of the shape, I think, right, as well. What do I think of the logo on it? Do you mean the design on the weight? I think it looks pretty good. I like that. It looks very bluish. This particular one is kind of very blue. It's like blurple. Oh, the Canon Keys one? I'd prefer it if it wasn't there, but like, I put JR1 on top of the JR1, so I can't really complain it, right? Purple and the white buttons. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Okay. I think it'll look better without it, but like, it's such a tiny detail that like it's barely even there. Like, people are free to brand their products any way they want. If you don't like the logo on it, don't buy it, right? Simple as that. Like, I get it, people don't like it, but that's where you vote with your wallet, right? Like, if you want one of these for the layout and the design and everything else, just buy one. If you don't like that logo and that stop sheet, that's cool too. There'll always be something else. Always be something else. The color on screen you can see right now, at least on my camera, from the overhead camera, is probably pretty close. It looks a lot bluer in the face cam than it is in real life. The overhead cam is the closer to the real color. So there you go. Where did we put that with water board? There we go. Okay, so first thing to do is open up PCB. And we'll get the plate ready as well. So we are going to build it with the brass plate today. I will do an ISO version of this because it does support ISO, but it's not going to be today because I haven't got the plate file to make an ISO plate with. But we're going to make a POM ISO plate for this, and that will be the plate that we use for the final version of the build. But I just need to get the file so that I can do that. Looks very pastel. It's not really a pastel color, it's a very blurple color. It actually looks really close to the Discord purple in real life. That's the kind of color it is. Fine with the logo. The corners could be sharper for my taste. I'm not sure if I prefer this one, if I prefer the prototype with a different front end, but I think I prefer this one. pomegranate plates. Yeah, exactly right. Okay. So for stabilizers today, we're going to go with trusty old Duroc V2s. And we're going to be building it with A inner enter, full backspace. So I'm just going to get the bits that we need out here. Then we'll need a full left shift, and we're going to split right shift. We need full left shift. I forgot how many stabilizers we're going to need for this build. Looks really childish compared to their design. It's coming from a graphic designer. I mean, that's fair. If you don't like it, you don't have to. And then we need split space as well. So we're going to have a space bar on this side and a space bar on that side. So make sure we've got all of the stabilizers we need here.
Tasty, tasty.
Tasty, tasty. Keeps and Code, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I thoroughly appreciate that. There we go. Okay, so 5 stabilizers for this board. Split space, man. Needs a lot of stabilizers. Right. Right, let's get these stabilizers built up and looped together. You subscribed for 3 months as well in advance. Keeps and Code, man. So much. Thanks for that. That's huge. Thank you, dude. You now realize where this board doesn't look complete. I think that's fair, but like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For me, the big draw for the Sagittarius is the layout, right? That's the draw for it. It's not. It's trying a new layout. It's not trying. It's not buying it for the design particularly, although I don't mind the design.
Tasty.
Mags, thank you so much for the subscription as well, man. I really appreciate that. Again, 3 months in advance. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. For me, it's more about, you know, for the layout rather than necessarily for the board design, and also the story behind it as well. Because one of the designers of this board has sadly now passed away. I really apologize, guys. My hay fever is so bad, it's just making my nose run like mad. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Right, okay. So we have all housings inserted. Next job is to lubricate the stabilizer wires, and then we can build the rest of the board up from there. I already have an AS. I've already had taken some, not drugs, but meds. Yeah, I think the idea was to get away from the standard kind of Alice style layout and to do something a little bit different. And I think they achieved that with this board. Like, it's definitely a different layout. Like, it's not the same as anything else. Just the way that they stagger and the kind of the whole positioning of it is. It is obviously very, very different. And you got to applaud people for doing something different. Like, so many boards in this hobby are just a similar rehash of a rectangle. So it's always nice to see something done a little bit differently. Have you seen the Sandglass Ergo by Fox Labs? I haven't seen it, no. If you have a link, I will gladly check it out. I think it depends on which country you're from, Dogasol. Like, here in the UK, wouldn't really call it like a drug. We'd call it a prescription, or say medication. We wouldn't really say meds either here in the UK. But yeah, I already have some hay fever tablets. But sadly, they are not doing the trick today. Thank you, Naos. I'll take a look at that later on, dude. Thank you. I really want to try some kind of Ortho or Alice. Good to the Spring was a bad time for me, but more will come. Yeah, I didn't really like the Spring. Like, it wasn't a bad board by any means, but I didn't really like it. Like, I have an Alice. That's enough for me, and the Sagittarius as well. I also have an F18X, FLX Virgo as well. So I have plenty in that kind of space. Seen a fair bit of overlap recently. The ones that stand out for the usual reasons are really catching my eye at the moment. I mean, that's fair. People's tastes change over time. You can see one thing, you know, one time and hate it. I just dropped a massive dollop of lube on my mat. Okay. And then you can look at that same thing a couple of years later and think, do you know what? I actually really changed my mind. I really like it. Okay. You might actually get one when the time comes. Nice, Aeneas. Aeneas, did you buy the Hope yet? I know you were looking at buying a Hope. You bought a Spring, but sold it on a cost. You're just gonna get used to the layout. That's fair. It happens. Always remember, guys, it's easy to put on more lube later on than it is to remove it, so just be careful. Okay, last one. Happens out of nowhere, does change in taste? It certainly does. Like, I used to hate TKLs. I was never a TKL fan, and now I think I have more TKLs in my personal collection than anything else. Like, I've just gone heavily down the TKL route. And that's cool. That's just fine. That's the way it goes sometimes. Your girlfriend got you the Sonnet? Nice. What a good girlfriend. Like, she spoils you, that's good. I think the Hope looks better than the Sonnet, but I haven't tried either in person, so I'm only going based on looks. And that's just my preference, of course. Like, you guys can have your own preference too. That's the cool thing about this hobby. We can all like different things and still be friends. What's my favourite mounting style? I don't really have one. I think that top mount is underrated these days. Everyone goes, oh, it's just top mount. And they don't really appreciate it anymore. But I'm fine with any mount, really. I'll take anything. I think a lot of my personal designs use gaskets, so I'd probably say isolation type mounts are better for me. But, like, I do like a top mount. As an accountant, I need numbers, but I bought a Murph pad to learn how to solder, so at least I have the flexibility with boards. Nice. Just got my Moto 2 Mist and new desk pads. Nice, congrats, man. The Sonnet is top mount, which is pretty cool. So because of certain personal projects, that really got my attention. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I think top mount is underrated these days. Like, top mount used to be really common in the hobby, and then kind of like everything just moved away from it. Like as soon as the GSKT and the TGR, sorry, not the TGR, and the are we on this one? Yeah. And the Keycaps boards, the Type X Machina board came out. Kind of like it changed the whole market, and everyone kind of moved on to gaskets, which is fine. I think there's some cool people were doing some cool things like pin mount with cable car designs and a few other things like that. But yeah, there's a lack of top mount, I think, in the kind of like in the hobby these days. Okay, let's get these on the board. I'm hoping we can split right shift. Actually, I'm going to check that because I didn't actually check that we can split right shift, so I'll double check that in a moment. I'm pretty sure we should be able to. Oh man, this one doesn't want to go in. There we go. There we go. Right, let's flip this over and then we can start to screw these in place. Or we could do if I put the screw somewhere to hand. Top mount is still underrated. Yeah, top mount was like hugely prolific for the first 10 or 12 years in custom keyboard world, and then it kind of died a death, but it's nice to see that it comes back every now and again. Yeah, burger mount's quite common as well, and I guess you're right, like an isolation top mount. What's my favourite matrix board? I probably couldn't pick any particular matrix board. There are a lot of matrix boards that I like. I have a lot of them. Some of the ME ones are pretty cool. The original cane, which I picked up quite recently, which is like a full size, is really cool as well. And that was, you know, quite a rare board at the time. It's still rare in custom keyboards to have a full size board as well, to be fair. So, oh man, we've got a screw stuck. Come on, there we go. Wyvern, yeah, Wyverns are cool. But yeah, I probably picked the Matrix Cane as my favorite Matrix board, just because of the fact that it's a full size, and you don't see too many full size in the hobby these days. It's not the Matrix Noah. The Matrix Noah is probably my least favorite Matrix board, but I do have one. Excuse me, guys. My hay view is so bad today. My nose just keeps running. I'm kind of glad you've got the distance cam of my face at the minute, because it wouldn't be a pretty picture. Yes, we make POM plates here. Yes, if you want a POM plate, head to the front page of the website, scroll down, and then fill out the POM plate form. It is there on the front page of the website for all to see. Plates take about 3 days to make. As long as you have the file, we can make it. The more coloured, detailed bits on the Matrix, the better. Yeah, I love the badges and accessories and tiny little bits here and there. I think it's amazing. Cool, there we go. Stabilizers installed. Time to get some switches in. Now, one thing you guys don't get to pick today as the switches because I had already decided which ones we were going to use today, and I'll show you those now. CG Buen, thank you very much for the follow, mate. I appreciate that. We're going to be using Piano Duroc linears. So these are solid POM switches, or all POM switches. POM pianos. Duroc POM pianos. That's what we're using today. Give us the illusion of choice. No, you got to pick the board we built. That's enough. You get to pick the keycap sets. Those things are enough, right? I do remember building a Holy Panda board on stream once with a brass plate, and it was the worst thing in the world. Like, my thumbs were just on fire by the end of the stream. So I'm glad that this one is a little bit easier to put together. Switch is a Luber 205 Grade 2 by my favourite Luber, Matt the Pokemon Kid, who may or may not be watching. These switches are in stock on the site. I think they're 10 for £5, 50p a switch. I think something like that. Maybe a little bit cheaper. I can't remember. I changed a lot of switch prices today, so I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Matt is so good with tactiles. He's also great with linears, but I do love his switches. Yeah, he's great with switches. I just don't have the time to lube anymore, Dan, so I let Matt do them for me. I think he charges like 50p a switch. I think I sent him something like 3,000 switches to do, so... I need to find a linear to get me off my alpaca addiction. Nice. Nothing wrong with an alpaca addiction. Trojam, hey man, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Alpacas are a good switch. You'd rather spoon your eyes out than loop switches. That's fair. That's fair. I don't mind doing it, I just don't have the time for it. Like, if I had the time, I would 100% do it, but I just don't. Imbecile, hey man, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. For some reason I decided to spring swap and lube 50 Choc V2s for a meme build. Never do that again. Yeah, I wouldn't be lubing Choc switches for a start off. That's something I wouldn't do. Oh nice, you're building yours as well, Trojam? Nice. Which colour did you get, Trojam? See, if I'm lubing switches, I like to do them all at the same time, and then I'm consistent across the whole batch. If I do them over a period of days, I tend to find that they get more and more inconsistent over time. The white and gold, nice. That's a good color combination. Okay. I do think I'm going to struggle with the layout of this. I really do think I'm going to struggle. Loop switches over a whole year. Yeah, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not have to take a year to start my builds. I send a couple thousand switches to Matt every few months, and then he does them for me. But because I build a board every week for my personal collection, like I go through a lot of switches. We go through 500 switches a month probably. So when you start to add that up, it gets to a lot over the course of a year. These are Pom Piano Durock switches. There we go. Okay, great. That's all the switches put in. Time to check, see if we've got any bent pins. And whilst I'm doing that, guys, we're going to be ready to start soldering in a minute. While we're soldering on the board, you guys can ask me any question you'd like. Now, it can be completely and utterly not related to keyboards. It can be related to any topic in the world that you like. All you have to do is just tag me with @jprototypist and ask your question. As long as I can answer it in a stream safe way, that's in a way that's not going to get me banned from Twitch or get me into trouble with anything, I will answer it. So we have got a couple of bent pins. Let's just start to remove these. So get your questions ready, guys. Just tag me with @jprototypist and ask your questions. Can be about anything or everything. That was one bent pin. I did see another bent pin here. Right, okay. Let's just check the rest of the board. Go check this side. Excuse me. Oh, we missed a switch though. Okay. That means we're now ready to solder. So get your questions in, guys. Any question at all. It can be anything, any topic at all that you like, keyboard related or otherwise, and I will do my best to answer it for you. Right, coffee's a little bit cold, so I'm going to open a cold one. Right. Some solder. My trusty soldering iron, and away we go. First question comes in and says, what are your thoughts on the Mode Sonnet? I haven't actually tried a Mode Sonnet. I think it looks okay. It looks nice enough. I'm not sure if it's for me, but it's a nice enough looking board, I think. I think like Mode have definitely changed since their first board that I built years ago, the Mode 80. They've definitely changed in a positive way, I think, in terms of how they design boards and how their products are pulled together. The packaging was always on point. Can we get a look at the collection? Like I have so many keyboards, it's impossible to show you, and they're all in like display cabinets and then in their boxes as well. If there's anything particular that you want me to show you that I have out, I can. Just to give you a quick list on what I've got nearby, I've got the Matrix ATEX V3.0 prototype. I have got a JO2, a JO1 Rev 1, a Heine TKL and numpad. I've got the original, the very, very first Satisfaction 75 prototype, a Derivative 60, a Pandora 60, an Allison prototype with Matilda numpad, a TX60 in copper, an ANSI 65%, an Ace of Spades, a Dolphin TKL, an Orion TKL, a Hidari, a Primus, so I'm trying to look underneath my monitor here, a KFE, and a Timberwolf. Those are all the boards I have to hand. If you want to see any of those, let me know. Static Age says, I'm moving into project management role at work. Is there any good tools, tips, or tricks you can share for staying organized? Yeah, keep regular plans. So you want to have something like a plan on a page that you're tracking the key milestones for you. It doesn't have to be the project milestones. It's the key things that you need to be aware of to make your life easier. You need to update that twice a day. First thing on the morning, last thing at night. If you update it at any other times, you're going to be missing out on, proper work hours and maybe not getting yourself a good to-do list, but priorities change between when you leave work at night and come back the next morning. So always update it last thing at night and always look at it first thing in the morning. Keep yourself organized. You can't manage a project or a team if you can't manage yourself. Simple as that. Second tip I would give you is always let your team speak and have their mind. Decisions should be made as a group, not as a single person, or for the majority of decisions anyway. Teams will often have some great suggestions, and whilst it doesn't seem to align to what you need at first, it might be a better solution. So always give it a chance, always give it a time, take a look at it, make sure you're setting what the right path is, and move forward with that. Act with conviction, and just take it steady away. Like, project management shouldn't be a difficult job. It should be a job that happens to flow easily. It really helps to know what kind of qualifications people have from a project management perspective as well. If any, have you done Prince 2 or have you done anything else? Depends on which parts of the world you're from as to what you might have. If it's large scale projects over like a long period of time, making sure you've got accurate kind of plans that will have key milestones and what the key kind of drivers for those milestones are. So if you need X, Y, and Z to hit the milestone, make sure you're tracking those as deliverables. Have some sort of meeting that's weekly or monthly or fortnightly, whatever works for your team, that kind of keeps everyone on the same page and everyone on track. The project plan should be public. Anyone should be able to see it. You should never have to hide it away. People shouldn't have to wait for a meeting to be able to see it. Always make sure it's as visible and open as it can be. Yeah, that's probably about it. Those are probably my key tips that I would give anyone who's wanting to look at project management. Getting yourself on some good courses is always a good idea as well. If you can do a Prince 2 or equivalent in your country, that will always help set you apart and give you some really good tips as well, because you can start to do some like really in-depth kind of like timescale planning based on delivery times, lead times, things like that, backwards planning, forwards planning, all sorts of things like that. So you can do like left to right or right to left planning. Really depends on what you need. But yeah, that's probably where I'd start. And it says in-stock budget start keyboard kit when. I'd love to do something like that. We do the Ickies, which are a good budget board. I'd love to do something like that that's actually PT branded though. Maybe at some point. It's a time thing. I don't have the time to dedicate to it right now. I mean, Aeneas, out of anyone here, you know what my diary is like. Okay, that's one side sorted. George M says, are you worried about the rising cost of fuel and fuel's demise with the classic cars that you have? Not really. I can't see fuel disappearing anytime in the next 20 years or so. Like, even if all cars go electric for brand new sales in the next 20 years, people are still going to need fuel for a lot of other recreational uses as well for a long time. So I don't really see it as a worry. Prices going up... Yeah, no, I think I'm more worried about electricity and gas prices going up for like home energy than I am anything else right now. I think it'll be fine. It'll all work out in the end. Like, I'm absolutely for the transition to electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles for daily drivers. 100%. Like, we have a Tesla, that's our main daily car now. We even got rid of our Mazda CX-5 because the Tesla's just a better daily car for us, so I'm 100% on board with that. Oh, bless me. I could feel that coming. Vintage Kish gotta go. Revision work has took me out. Thanks, man. Take care. What's the board that I haven't designed myself? I don't really class myself as a designer, but okay. That you've used the longest as a daily driver. Probably my F18X. Bless me. Closely followed by my highly TKL one. Those two have been kind of like on the desk a lot. Like, both myself and Mel, who use this desk, both love those keyboards. So yeah, I'd probably say those. Flower. Leonardo de Mouse, hey man, good to see you. He says, any chance you'd build a board for me? Yeah, sure, send it over. I'll build whatever you need. Timberwolf, what's that? Right, remind me after we've done the build to show off the Timberwolf board. There we go. Not Stevie P says, see if my new ISO build both fire the ANSI bar / when pressing the ISO bar / and ISO hashtag till. Is that a firmware issue? If you answered this earlier, I didn't hear. Sorry if I missed that, Stevie P. I have no idea. It really depends on the board. I would definitely check in via or QMK. Make sure you've not got any crossed wires or anything like that, or any dodgy solder points or anything as well. It's not something I remember ever experiencing, so it doesn't sound like a common issue to me. But of course, I could be wrong. It may be that the board has been, the PCB has been designed incorrectly, actually. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for management tips, Jay. Didn't ask the question, but it's very applicable to me as a team member as well. Like, the biggest thing with management of teams is making sure that everyone on the team is on the same page. That's the biggest trick. And I don't necessarily mean that that's just your project team, but the wider team that have, you know, stakeholders or, you know, entities who are interested in the project, you know, people you just need to keep updated wherever they fall in that kind of stakeholder matrix. You know, you just need to make sure that everyone's on the same page or can easily get on the same page. People shouldn't have to actively approach you to get on the same page as to what's happening in the project. That's my biggest thing with it. People should be actively able to look that information up themselves, and you need to provide them with the power to do that. That's the biggest trick I can give for anyone who's looking at project management. Make things easy for your stakeholders. The easier you do that, the more success you'll have in your projects. I did that for a lot of years, a long time and a lot of years. I hope I never have to go back to it, but I suppose I could if I had to. Some good advice. I'd be terrible at PMing. I did it for 15 years, man. I know what it's like that. So much for robust answer. No problem, man. No problem. As long as it helps. That's the main thing, right? I could talk lyrical about good project management techniques and poor ones. It's hard to do it in like a split 2-second or 2-minute even explanation, but there's a load of bad practices you see from PMs all over the place. There's a load of good practices you see as well. The other biggest thing I'd always say is whenever you've got a challenge, look for the opportunity, because every challenge will give you an opportunity. So don't always look for the bad things, and don't always look for a way to tell the bad story to your stakeholders. Look for the positives, look for the opportunities. So if you're like, I don't know, like say it's taking a week longer to code something and your deployment's not going to happen on the date, it's going to be moved out by a week. Well, you've got the hood up, you've got the hood of the car up. What else can you do while you're in there? You've got a week's time. You can't do anything. If you still need to sign off and approve code and everything, what's the latest date you can get that done? Do your right to left background work, see how much time you've got left, and can you fit another couple of user stories in before you submit it to production, right? Like, what's the opportunity? Instead of releasing just this feature, we can now release this feature and this feature, or we can fix that bug or whatever. You know, always look for the opportunities. Try and encourage people to problem solve laterally in that kind of way as well. There's always a good way to take advantage of any situation. You just have to find it. Ben says, I've heard of the Babylon keyboard. I don't know.
Incredible.
Thank you very much, Going Dicey, for the follow. I appreciate that. Maybe in time it will happen. Maybe. Have you seen the new Tfu's novel keys board? I have, yes. I have. I've had a load of questions asking if we're going to carry it, and sadly we can't due to licensing and things like that. It is a purely novel keys exclusive project, but yeah, it's a pretty cool collab. Okay, I think we are done with soldering. Just about. One last switch to do. There we go. Thank you, man. Thank you. Pockets are cool. Right, okay, so now we've soldered the board, we can test it and make sure that everything's working. Have I applied for partner with Twitch? No. I don't think I'd qualify for partner. I don't know what the qualifications are for it. So the first thing we're going to do is test the keyboard make sure everything is working as it should be. So we're just going to plug the JST cable in and the USB. I'm going to plug it into the PC, and then we're going to load up Via and see if it works. Okay, you should be able to see Via. It is picking it up. Right, let's go to the key tester and test the matrix. Is that how we've got it? No, that's not how we've got it. Right, let's go back to configure it. Layout. So we've got split backspace. No, we've not got ISO. We have got arrows. There we go. Left spacebar is 1U 1.25, I think. Yeah. And split right space. No, we've not split that. Okay, so that should be correct, I think. See the LEDs here. They look cool. Right, okay. Key tester. Test the matrix. Let's see what works. Nothing. Do we need to flick the switch on the back of this? Is that what we need to do? Where is it? I know that a lot of these... Let's see if that does it. Okay. That didn't do it. Let's try that. Okay, we've got something out of it, right? Okay, key tester, test the matrix, right? Let's. Oh, how weird! It's not showing up in the test matrix, but it does show up in the standard key tester. Okay, so this is going to be right. Okay, let's just check that the keys do actually do something. Okay. Okay, it looks like that row's good. Tab, QWERTY. Okay, all good there. All good there. Okay, both good input shift, that's fine. No, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. That's cool as long as we know that they're working. That's working. Space is working. That space isn't working. Left alt works. Okay, so these two keys here don't seem to do anything. Okay, this is on FN. This key here is on FN, so that's fine. Like, we can always adjust that later on. Okay, so we've just got those two keys there. What are they onto? Oh, right, okay, so they're not actually onto anything. So let's just set these as like a letter just so we can test them and make sure they're working. Cool, right, okay, everything works as it should do. We can configure the layout later on. Perfect. Perfect. I'd be super curious to hear more about what you have to say about PMing. I did it for such a long time, man. I like going into project management. We suggest university apprenticeships. I think both have their place. I learned on the job I did the job for 15 years on the job, and I learned that way. And then I did an MBA at Manchester afterwards, like after I'd been there for like 12 years, 13 years. So I think learning on the job is probably an easier way to get into it and to progress quicker. But like, you learn invaluable skills at university, so it's always a good way of doing it. Submitting something to production, just dev and prod, always the latest version. Go speak to your DevOps team, see what they say. What's the hardest thing for you about setting up your own business? Real answer, time. Like, just having time to do everything. When you set up a small business, you are your own accountant, bookkeeper, product manager, website developer, you know, everything you do. You pay your own invoices, you do absolutely everything. You pack your own orders, you ship them, you contract with DHL, you contract with suppliers. You are the person responsible for everything. That's the hardest thing about setting up your own business. It is a lot of time that you have to spend doing it. No, Aeneas, I didn't pick up one of the die-cast Pokeballs, but I did help him get some. I've sent you a picture of the boards I have, and I'll let you choose which friends are building. Oh, nice. Yeah, you can send one over, dude. Yeah, we'll sort that out later. Doesn't work with the test matrix, but fine in normal mode. I remember now someone asking about it. Yeah. I'm effectively the DevOps team. One person? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Okay, we know the board works now, so it's time to put everything in the case. So let's progress with that. So I'm just going to take the case apart first. You have the basic Pokeball. Nice. I think there were a few that Garrett wanted that weren't available in the US, so we picked them up from the UK store for him, which is cool. Yeah, I think if I'd have ever changed kind of like where I was from program manager at my old job, I'd have probably looked to go into DevOps. That's kind of like where I was most happy, is that kind of area. But yeah, I spent a long time doing that stuff. I don't know if I could go back to being a product owner stroke program manager anymore. It's a long time ago now. Like, it's 2 years since I finished working at the company I used to work for. 2 years now. Okay, this is the bottom case that we're going to lift off now. There we go. Nice and simple. See where the plate mounts. Let's put the daughter board in. There we go. Just going to move those screws to one side. Now I'll put the daughter board in place, and then we can carry on popping the gaskets in. I'm just going to put the screws into the daughter board. Should make it a little bit easier to position this way. Oops. 2 screws anyway, diametrically opposed. We're going to put in opposing corners. We're going to put a screw. What we would do if we could get it to align. There we go. Key set will be decided by chat, Daniel. Key set would be decided by chat. What's the point of the daughter board? Just lower connection or more customization where the port is? A little bit of both. You can get the cable lower on the outside. But the other cool thing as well is it means that because like the most common place to have a fault on a PCB is usually around the USB. With this, you can just replace the daughter board. Like, you can just replace the daughter board, everything goes again. You don't have to replace the whole PCB. So dead simple. But it means you can get it lower. You can put the USB in different places. Sometimes, like here, like if you think about the way the PCB is, the PCB comes this way. But if you had a straight edge here and you wanted the USB there, you could put the USB wherever. So you can just mount the daughter board however you need to and accommodate it that way. Okay, gasket strips time. I think some of these actually need to be cut to fit. So we're just going to peel these off, pop them in place. And then if we need to trim any of them, we will do. Yeah, 100% having it replaceable is a great reason for using a daughter board. Oops. basically a two-man show for the slither of software infrastructure which you manage. It's only one of the back ends for the rest of the company, so it's fine. I mean, if it gave us a proper budget for dev UAT environments, that would be a nice start. Like, I was probably spoiled just because of the sheer size of the company that I worked for, but like having a proper route to live with correct test environments was always a must. And like there was multiple versions of test. Like you would have UAT, multiple different versions of like test environments and things. Like you wouldn't progress straight from build to test to live. Like there would be multiple stages, like 3 or 4 different stages. Okay, so I think we need to chop this gasket up just for the 2 sections here. So I'm just going to cut these to approximate size and then pop these in. There we go. Then we can pop the gaskets into the top case. Oh man, the daughter board on your moon. I think I've repaired that twice down in the past. Keyboard can also come with different thicknesses for the PCB without having to worry about the USB port. Also big plate shifting. True. Very true. I think you probably need to have a chat with your management team, JQ, because like that's just you can't have a successful implementation team without a successful route to live. Like that's just like a key thing. And for a successful route to live, you have to have certain environments, and it depends on what you're doing as to what environments you'd have, but like. And as to how many stages you have, but having a proper UAT environment is absolutely paramount. Like that would be number 1 thing on the list of things I was saying that the company needed to do if it wasn't there. Like I would be 100% banging that drum and saying, look, this failed because of this. We don't have this environment, therefore we can't do this piece of work. Like, can you imagine signing off the risk of approval to put something into production where it's not being tested in a test environment? And the worst thing is when test environments aren't updated. So like the test environment isn't actually like true to what live production environment is. That's another big bugbear of mine. Like how can you have something that's a test environment that is for user acceptance testing that is not an actual copy, or doesn't have the same processes in place or the same policies in place or whatever as the live production environment does? Like you can't run a UAT test in an environment that is not a true reflection of your live environment. Like, stuff like that really bugs me. It makes me angry. Like, I'm getting angry now just thinking about it. I remember having those conversations with certain teams about certain things. But proper route to live stuff it's absolutely paramount for project delivery. Okay, so now we've done all of the installation of the gaskets. Whoops. The next job is to connect the PCB and plate together into the daughter board, align everything, and then we can put the top case in place. Just like so. We're going to pop that into position. Just like so. Hopefully that's going to sit down nicely. Is it? What's that getting stuck on? Feels like it's getting stuck on something. What is that getting stuck on? Oh, the PCB is catching on the housing. We're going to have to trim the PCB a little bit. So what the issue here is on the PCB, there's these rough connectors here you can see. This is where part of the PCB is being trimmed off of the factory, and it's just catching on the case. So we're just going to trim those off with some flush cutters. Should only take a second. It's only a fraction of a millimeter, but so I'm not actually cutting the PCB here. I'm just trimming off those sharp edge bits, so it's now nice and smooth. And that now should, in theory, go into position a little bit easier. There we go. That now fits. Nice and simple. I'm going to take the top case. I'm going to put that into position. Then we're going to flip the board over, put the screws in, and we're going to get it there. That's the main issue. Test in UAT is completely different to actual prod. Like, no! Like, your test environment and your prod environment should... Like, it's fine to have, like, a UAT area that's not the same as prod for, like, phase 1 of testing, as long as you have, like, a secondary root to live phase that is done in a true test environment that is a duplicate of the live environment. Like, that's imperative for any organization. Jay's getting flashbacks. 100%, man. Like, 100%. Like, it makes me so angry. This is why I did consider moving into, like, a DevOps career at one point. I have the same issue where I work. All the environments are different, so it makes it impossible to truly say what we're planning to release will work as expected to put it live. Like, this was a thing. I remember, like, years and years ago, we didn't have the true roots live kind of mapped out properly. And someone said, oh, we just need to accept these risks. And some of the risks were stupid. Like, customers might not be able to access their accounts. Customers might not be able to see how much balance they have or whatever. You know, like, so many dodgy risks. There is a risk that we'll release customer information to people who shouldn't have it if we put this live. Like, so many dodgy risks. And it was like, what's the likelihood of this happening? Medium. Okay, let's sign it off. What's the impact of it financially? 500,000 quid. You know, okay, let's just sign it off. Rather than spend 10 grand to have the environment there, they took a risk on 500 grand. It was nuts. Some of the UAT environments could have been done for rounding errors for the cost of the project. So it was, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting angry and upset about it now. Okay. So there we go, guys. That's the board built. This is the Sagittarius with POM Duroc switches. So now we've done that, it's time for you guys to pick some keycaps. So to do that, I'm going to give you a list of keycaps, and then I'm going to put a poll up, and I'm going to take a short break. So let me show you the keycaps first, and you can pick which go on this board here today. The first option is DCS Red Alert. See, I had to pick that might have gone on both boards, so you'll see. The second option is GMK Modern Dolch. OG die subs won't work because OG die subs don't have split space support. GMK Metropolis. GMK Dark. And this is Cherry Milkshake. That's the final option. Cherry Milkshake, which is in stock and you can buy it on the website now. Let me set up a quick poll. You guys can pick which keycap set you want to use whilst I nip to the toilet for a quick break. New poll. Wait, what? What happened there? Wait, what else do we have? GMK Dark, there's it. Okay, poll is now going live. You guys can pick in the poll which you'd like to see. Yeah, pick it up. Pick whichever colorway you'd like to see. This is what is going on. I'll be back in 1 minute. So, yeah, I'm going to make the 3D printer large so you can watch something happen whilst I take a break. I'll be back in a second, guys. Okay, guys, I have returned. Let's see what you guys are picking, right? So Milkshake is winning right now. That's a good choice, guys. Good choice. DHL is amazing. DHL is good, yes. That colorway is real nice. Thank you, man. Love the blurple. The blurple's cool, right? Oh, let's. There we go. Milkshake, surely, maybe. It's a couple of tough calls in that lineup. Yeah. White on blurple would look nice. Yeah, I tried to pick sets that might work with both boards, so that's why it was a bit of an eclectic collection.
I don't know what you mean by I tried to.
Apple Watch thinking I'm saying stuff to it. Okay, so Milkshake is still winning, but only just. Milkshake and Metropolis. I think Metropolis might be a bit too dark for it, but if it wins, we'll try it and see how it goes. Watch is lonely. Yeah, apparently so. But it's coming up again. Like, it thinks it can help me with something. I must have said something that made it think I was saying Siri. I don't know. I've been looking really hard at getting an Apple Watch. Like, I had an Apple Watch for about 5 years, and then I moved away from it. And then I've moved back to it quite recently. And I moved away from it when I first started this place because, like, I was just getting so many emails and DMs. But now I've just called back what I get notifications about, and it's helped a lot. Do I own any key cults? Yeah, I have a couple. I've got a key cult number 2 Phantom edition, which is just on a shelf over there, and I also have a 60 as well, number 160, which is black. So yeah, I have 2. I don't think the number 160 is built. I don't think, but I can't recall. I'd have to have a look and see if there's a build stream for it somewhere. Show me. You want to see it? Okay, I'll grab it for you. Okay, this is the Key Cult number 2 Phantom edition with SA Phantom as well. As far as I know, it's one of the few ISO TKL Key Cult number 2s. Side profile, it's got the little hitch there. Milkshake is one, so we're building Milkshake. And there's the base as well. A few fingerprints on it, so I apologise about that. It's been built for quite a while now. It's a real hefty board though, is this. You remember me building the 60? Thank you, Huey. I don't recall if I did build it or not. But, yeah. I think it might have been in old Top Connect days, because I've had that board a long, long time. I've had the Phantom edition less, but there we go. I would never wear an Apple Watch because I love my Seiko and Longines watches too much. So I actually collect watches as well. So one of the things I love is like mechanical watches. So I got a brand new Breitling a couple of months ago, which is really nice. It's the Deus Ex Machina edition. Really like that. I have a couple of vintage Amigas, which are like 1950s, 60s watches, which are automatic, like self-winding. They're really cool. Both Seamasters. I have a few others as well. But yeah, I really like them. I really like mechanical watches. That's class. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What do you think about the Bion 65 I linked to? Looks really good, stores this. I didn't opt for one in the end, but it does look really nice. And Neos remembers the Phantom, yeah. What are your thoughts on Lewis wearing like 4 watches during a press conference the other day for the Formula One? I thought that was quite funny. Just based off the whole kind of like, you shouldn't be wearing jewelry and his piercings and things. And I thought Seb wearing his underwear on the outside of his overalls was funny as well. It's quite cool. I actually have a kit, Aeneas, that I'm going to build at some point on stream to make your own watch. I bought one of these like 3 years ago, and I have it here, and I will stream it at some point. I will build one. So yeah, it will happen. It will happen. What's my favourite 60%? JO2. We've actually got a new version of the JO2 coming very, very soon. Very, very soon, because the prototype's almost finished being manufactured. One for UK time, one for Memory time, and one for Hammer time. Yeah, Hamilton's not getting to do Hammer time this much though, is he? There you go. So, it's just one of those things. Self-plug, 100%. I knew he was going to say JO2. Well, preference, right? Albano P9 dragging that Williams tractor into the points. Yeah, yeah, it was really good. I thought it was the stellar drive from George Russell as well. Like, he got lucky with the safety car, but to finish ahead of Lewis it must be doing him the world of good to finish ahead of Lewis every race. So yeah, other standout drivers, Leclerc did so well to try and catch Max at the end. It was just very unlucky. So, yeah. Bottas giving up P5 right at the end. Yeah, hey, it happens. Is JO2 going to be in stock or raffle or first come first serve? I think we're going to do a pre-order, but it's already going to be in production. So it's not going to be in stock, but it's not going to be a group buy either. Like, they're all going to be well into production before I run like the order. So yeah. Good head on him for calling the right strategy call whilst driving. Yeah, I think any driver in his position would have done the same thing. Let's just see, right? The tyres are fine. Let's just see. They would have done it the same thing. Like everyone's saying we can try and see if we get the retro. Like, it's the obvious thing. Any driver in that position would have done exactly the same thing. If you'd put Lewis in the car and he'd have been in the same position George was, he'd have said exactly the same. We've heard it from other drivers in the past as well. Raikkonen used to say it quite a lot. He used to tell the team what he was doing, what he wasn't doing. We've seen Hamilton refuse to come in. We've seen Verstappen refuse to come in before. It just happened to be fall lucky for George. That's the thing. But it was the right thing for him to decide. So yeah. There we go. Right, okay. Let's get these keycaps on the board. I'm just going to put the keyboard there. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. And then you guys will be able to see as we get the keycaps on the board. So yeah, guys, remember these are in stock. You can go buy these on the store right now. Cherry milkshake. PBT. The last 10 laps are really good. Like, the safety car just bringing everyone back together really helped. Like, you know, Russell overtook Lewis and then had to give the spot back and then still overtook him again. You know, all sorts of fun and games happening. Right. So just going to put the ANSI keys on here today. I'm not going to bother with the UK ISO. You guys can tell me what you think of the looks of this board. Yeah, I think the cars are definitely following closer. Like, we're not at the point where we can get rid of DRS just yet, but I don't think it's too many seasons away. I think we'll start to see a reduction of DRS zones, like 1 per lap. Over the next couple of years, and then we'll see them drift away from it eventually. But I think it'll be a while before we get rid of DRS in full. I've only just realised we had to go full caps on this board. Interesting. Oh wait, do we want 1.5 U keycaps here? Okay, so we need a 1.5 for that, that's fine. Haas versus Aston was a good battle. Yeah, I felt a little bit bad for Aston Martin, especially having to start from the pit lane. It was kind of unfortunate for them, but yeah. It does look a little bit like a Game Boy, right? Wait, come on. Static Age misses Kimmy. Yeah, I miss Kimmy as well. Like, but I get why he retired. Like, I do get why he retired. What do you guys think? What do you guys think to how the spread works here? Do you like the gaps? Do you like the plate being visible here? Do you like how the curvature goes, or do you dislike it? You feel terrible for Mick Schumacher? I'm not sure he even should be in Formula One, if I'm honest. The more I watch him, the more I'm kind of in a position that he maybe shouldn't be there. Yeah, the accident with Vettel was unfortunate. Like, it's just one of those things. But the more I watch Mick, the more I'm like, is he there on name alone? It seems a nightmare to use. I haven't tried typing on it yet, so I don't know. But I feel like I'm going to struggle to type on it. Latifi should definitely not be there. I don't think he will be by the end of the season. I think he'll be gone by the end of the season. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we've got arrows, that's why. Haha. You think Straw should be? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tasty, tasty.
Sparky, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I thoroughly appreciate that, and I appreciate you as well. I don't know if Straw should be there. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Is that one you? Okay. Right, okay. Okay. So let's put a let's go full on milkshake. Let's ball out on the milkshake here, right? Let's go for some bright green. Right. All of the keys have got messed up here. There's the arrow keys. That's what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. The layout does look cool. I think the board looks really pretty.
Incredible.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Sparky, for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'm really going to struggle to type on this today. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to type very well on it. It will get, like, the gaps between keys look huge here. I think I'm really going to struggle with it. But we'll see. We'll see. Right. Now we just need to work out what we're going to do for space bars, right? Is that the right shift to use here? We're just going to flip the shifts. I do have the space bar kit for this, but we're just going to flip the shifts for now. Because that's the way the cool kids do it, I hear. Or maybe not. And then we need a 1.5 U key for there. There we go. We need another 1 U key. I must have a new row 4 key here. Here we go. And then we need the other shift key, which we had here. For there. There we go. And we need another 1.25 U key for there. Let's go with... Do we have 1.25 U? There we go. That should fit nicely. There we go. Cool. Right, okay. Now we can move up to the top corner. And we can put in... Like, these keys, are some of the legends on them mean so little to me that we're just going to go for whatever here. It doesn't really matter. Wrong row. Let's just do all of these as row 1 keys, because that's fine. Was this a soldered build? Yeah, this is soldered. Yeah. There we go. That will do. That'll do, pig. That'll do, pig. I think Mick earned his place being there in F2 for a couple of years. He earned it for a couple of years. I give Mick the rest of the season as well. I think that's fair, but like I'm just not sure he should be there. Like I think he's there just on the merits of his name alone at the minute, and I don't agree with that. Okay, guys, so there we go. Sagittarius with Milkshake on a brass plate with Palm Direct switches. What do you think? I think it looks beautiful, but whether it actually sounds good and feels good to type on, I don't know. I'm struggling with that already. Do you think there will be any more budget options such as available in the future, such as a KBD67 like R4? Yes, we've already ordered the Brown 4. We will have some of those in. The green accent is like the green power LED of the Game Boy. I'm going to keep throwing out Game Boy references. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Milkshake looks so good in there. I think it looks really good, right? This looks really cool. I guess the real question is how does it sound? Let's see if we pause music. Let's see how this sounds, because it's either going to sound really good or not. So let's see. I think it sounds okay. I'm not sure if I can even type on this. Oh, yeah, this is confusing me. Yeah, that's a reach. That's weird because I want to use this finger, but it doesn't kind of work there, so I will have to use the pinky. That's going to take some. That's going to take some using. It does sound a little bit hollow, but I think it's the. I don't think it is actually the brass. I don't think it is actually hollow. There's no space in this board. I think it's actually the brass plate that you're hearing there. Usually look at desk mats. I do use my thumb for space on like a split board like this, like especially on the FLX Virgo. I use my thumb for space, whereas every other straight board I'll use my forefinger. But on here you can't, just because you having to. Okay, I almost want to bring my elbows really far around and lean right into it. Like it doesn't feel comfortable to use it here. Like I feel like my hand needs to be there, but then I can't get this hand to where it needs to be. So it's almost like that. I don't know. Like I'm gonna struggle with this. Like P just doesn't, like this just doesn't feel natural. Like I don't know. Like this feels more of a natural position, and split's fine, and split angled's fine, but the curve just doesn't kind of work for me. Maybe it's just a learning curve thing. Maybe I just need to learn how to use the curve, but that doesn't really work for me. I think it sounds nice though. It sounds like a good board. Maybe I just need to give it more time. Go away, Mr. Watch. Maybe I just need to give it more time and more practice. I'll try leaving it on the desk for a week and see how we get on. Mel might change it if she doesn't like it, but we'll see. I can just about use normal split boards like the VE8. Yeah, I do have a VE8. Really good boards. And hey man, good to see you. It's a real learning curve. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I can adapt to Alice layout and I can adapt to the FLX Virgo. This feels a little bit weird. Like it feels like my hands want to pivot around themselves. And I don't know if I like that. It feels like this is the kind of movement my hands want to make. And I don't know if I like that. Like it doesn't feel natural as moving my hands around. So yeah, it's a Series 7 is this one. Yeah, I'd recommend them. It's an interesting layout. I'm going to have to try and live with it for a little while. I think that's the plan. I try and live with it for a little while. Yeah, Flower says, I'm in no disrespect to the designer of this board, but I'm getting a Toys R Us 5 from the keyboard. Might be around just the colour. I think it's the colour. I think it's the colour more than anything. Like if you see this in the white and gold, it actually looks really nice. It looks stunning. Curve seems pretty aggressive. Yeah, it's interesting. Like it just seems overly too much. Like that feels uncomfortable. This bit here, like if I'm ready for the home row here, then that feels like I should be on the shift row. So it just feels like overly down. Like if we draw a straight line across here, like it just feels too far down. I feel like it needs to be like half a unit up, like not quite as aggressive, maybe. I don't know. I think I could get used to it, but we'll see. Let's just have a look and see how it looks with the lights on, because that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. How you can see the constellation through this. That is pretty cool touch. See the Sagittarius constellation through the RGB. I like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Not this stream, no. It's time for me to finish, actually. It is time for me to finish the stream. Mainly because it's like 10 p.m. and I have to be back here at the workshop right here. I've got to drive home, go home for the night, and then I've got to drive back in the morning. But I have to be here for like 8 o'clock in the morning, so it is time for me to finish the stream and to go home. I didn't know how aligned the Q and the A were either. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't realised that the stagger was actually kind of off on that as well. But it is almost vertical there. Maybe that's the other thing that's throwing me off. But yeah, next week we will be building the F18X, the board that you guys chose not to build this week. We will be building next week with the carbon fiber plate, the 6 weights inside, your choice of keycap sets, and your choice of switches. I'll let you guys pick which switches we put in it. But next week on Sunday we will be building, or this week on Sunday, we will be building the F18X. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am going to have to call it a night. I've got a really bad headache starting. I'm going to have to go home. Oh, do you want to see the Timberwolf really quickly? Right, 30 seconds, Timberwolf, and then I'm going. Okay, here is Timberwolf. This is the Timberwolf. Let me flip over to the other camera just so you can see really quickly. You can enter while you enter while you enter. It has 3 enters, a knob, an XT column, exploded arrows, 2 spare enter keys. It's a weird board. Timberwolf is a weird board. It's a very strange and unusual board, but it's kind of cool in its own way. So there you go. That is Timberwolf. Right, now I've shown you that, it really is time to go. Thanks very much for the stream, guys. I love you all. I'll see you again really soon. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.